You know that feeling when something should hit, but it just doesn't? That's exactly how I felt watching One Punch Man Season 3, Episode 4. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've got mixed feelings. The kind that tug between this could have been great and what were they thinking. When I first read these scenes in the manga, no movement, no sound, just panels, it all landed way better. Somehow the lack of animation made it feel more alive. That's a weird sentence to say about an anime, right? But that's the tone for the entire episode. Some moments shine and others stick around for too long, and not in a good way. Let's get straight into it. There are good things here, but also some painfully bad stuff. And as always, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. The main issue? These sticking shots that linger for 10, 15, sometimes 20 seconds with bad art. Now, I don't mind a long shot when it's done right, but when you're freezing on ugly frames for too long, you're basically inviting criticism. It's like they forgot. If you're gonna stay still, at least look good doing it. Anyway, let's break this episode down from start to finish, because the emotional rollercoaster here deserves its own dissection. And right away, we hit the most controversial part, Garou's scene. I honestly don't understand why they made the choices they did with the compositing and coloring. We already saw a much better version in the teaser, so why mess with it? That blur effect, it's killing the intensity. Now, as someone who understands a bit about color design, I get what they were going for. Dark blue often represents precision and consciousness, gives a reflective feel, but no, not here, not for this scene. The teaser had it perfect, just remove the blur, keep the crisp energy, and you would have nailed it. They even changed small things like adding thicker line art to his traps and oddly not making his eye fully red anymore. Why? His left eye was red before. That inconsistency breaks continuity for no reason. And sure, people might call this over-analyzing, but details matter, especially when they mess with Garou's visual identity. Now, to be fair, I actually loved how he stood up and transformed. That movement, pure power. It even outdoes the teaser in terms of body movement. But then the transitions, man, the transitions ruin it. He bent over one moment and in the next frame, he's suddenly looking at the sky. No fluid movement, just a jump cut in motion. That stiffness keeps pulling you out of the experience. Still, credit where it's due. The scene's purpose lands, it's dense, it's dramatic. The original soundtrack works, not perfect, but it's good. But surprisingly right after that, things start to look better. We cut to the Hero Association headquarters and honestly, it looks great. The whole sequence with Skin Gar and Child Emperor, smooth, no lingering shots, subtle movement, clean pacing. Then there's this one small movement that stood out to me, Skin Gar leaning against the wall. They actually included a transition where you see his leg move before he leans. Tiny thing, but so important. That's what's missing in so many parts of the season. Those in-between motions that make the world feel alive. Compare that to episode 3 where Dr. Cosino just appears inside a house. No indication of movement, no entry animation, nothing. It's small stuff, but it's the difference between animation and a slideshow. Now let's talk about what might actually be the best part of this whole episode, the hot pot scene. From the moment it started, I knew this was different. The samurai style original soundtrack, perfect vibe. That scene was handled way better than expected. And unlike that weird zoom out in episode 1 with Sweet Mask and the samurai disciples, this one works. Honestly, this is one of the few comedic moments that landed better than the manga. I legit laughed out loud. The voice actors nail the timing, the tone, the energy. You can feel their personalities clashing over something as simple as food, and it's hilarious. Even some artistic choices here were brilliant, like the Gino scene where you see his hand holding the meat paws. That's not even in the manga, it's a great addition. Now, I know some people will complain about the long shot of everyone eating, but it's meant to be that way. Yeah, the art's a bit rough around the edges, but it fits the comedic pacing. If anything, they could have polished the art a bit since it lingers so long, but overall, no real complaints. But then this next moment hits different. I can't spoil it, but if you know, you know. That subtle connection, that emotional undercurrent, it made me forget all my earlier gripes for like 5 whole seconds, because right after that, things start falling apart again, and this is where my issues come rushing back. The second half of this episode starts with Garou finding the hideout, and that part's fine, it's handled decently. Then we cut back to King still sleeping at Saitama's place. And remember how I said transitions matter? Yeah, here's why. He's asleep 1 second and in the next, boom, he's awake. No motion, no in-between animation, just teleportation energy. It's simple details like that that make a world of difference. Without them, scenes just look stiff and lifeless. With that said, I did love one small thing about King's earlier appearance in the hot pot scene. The stains on his clothes, they look like blood. That's such a clever touch because it foreshadows something coming in the next episode. The manga didn't even emphasize that. Props to them for coloring it that way. Then we hit the meeting scene, and this one tested my patience. Too many still shots, weird art, zero energy. It felt like watching a PowerPoint presentation. But right before that, when the S-Class heroes enter the room, total redemption. Every character walks in with their own aura. The animation captures the presence perfectly, except Puri Puri Prisoner, obviously, but come on, that's on brand. That group shot of all the S-Class heroes, miles better than the pre-animated trailer version. It's almost epic until the episode immediately threw that quality out of the window with the next scene. You'd think after all this, things would stabilize, but nope. The monster scenes come swinging in, and not always in a good way. We get introduced to 3 new monsters searching for Garou. They still don't reveal their names or threat levels, which, fine, it's not really a spoiler. But this mouse-looking monster, his voice absolutely killed my intimidation factor. Zero aura, none. I instantly wanted to downgrade him in my mental ranking of demon level threats. But the scene itself is fine, adapted well, nothing major to complain about. Then we get to the Royal Ripper vs Garou moment. And yeah, it's okay, not mind-blowing, not terrible, it's just decent. Though compared to the manga, they miss some emotional intensity. Garou's eyes in the manga, so much rage, so much personality. Here, it feels a bit dull. They did one good detail though, the shot of him opening his fist to catch the sword, that wasn't in the manga, and it's a nice touch. So yeah, a solid cliffhanger, but not the knockout punch we wanted. Now, this part really annoyed fans, and honestly, I get it. When Garou uses the whirlwind iron cutting fist, the color is wrong. It's supposed to be pink, or at least red. They made it blue, and that's a big deal, because casual fans now won't realize this is a different technique. That scene is supposed to highlight Garou's evolution, his ability to copy and adapt fighting styles. Without the right color, that growth moment gets lost. And that's literally the point of this arc, showing how Garou changes. Changing it back in the Blu-ray version would be such an easy fix, and it would mean a lot to the fans who actually notice these things. Alright, spoiler warning for those who haven't read the manga. If you don't want details about what's happening next, this is where you dip out. For everyone else, let's talk pacing. This episode adapted about 30 pages of chapter 89 and 37 pages of chapter 90. And based on the next episode's title, Monster King Orochi, I think episode 5 ends right when Orochi appears to fight Garou, which means they'll probably cover the rest of chapter 90, all of chapter 91, and part of 92. But that raises a serious question. How on earth are they planning to reach the Orochi vs Saitama fight by episode 12? By my earlier predictions, based on season 2's pacing, that fight should have been episode 4, but now it's looking like episode 6. So unless they cut a ton of material, probably stuff fans are waiting to see, like heroes versus monsters on the surface, they're in trouble. But here's the thing, it's not just the lack of animation that's hurting the season, because the last 2 episodes did have movement, it's the choices. Production wise, this season's priorities feel completely off. You can't play a sad original soundtrack during a comedic moment. You can't rush through the limited explanation like it's small talk. And you definitely can't cut crucial scenes that make One Punch Man special just to rush to the climax. And that's what makes the show powerful. The build-up, the irony, the humor, the tension. Without that rhythm, even the best fights lose meaning. I'll say this, I still have hope, because One Punch Man has always bounced back. Maybe the Blu-ray will fix things, maybe the pacing will stabilize. But right now, this episode, it's proof that good material can still fall flat if the execution's off. So here's hoping they can learn from it, because Garou deserves better. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for all my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.